Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, let's take a quick peek at the message for the 5th. All right, so we start out with the Hierophant. We have Taurus energy here. We have somebody who's really connected to their power animal or their ancestor or whomever, whatever is their spirit guide, whether it's they consider it their angels or their connection to the universe or a source or whatever language we want to use. To me, it's all the same. It's somebody who's very profoundly tapped into, like, loud and clear. They know what is right for their soul. They know what is right at this moment in their life for them to pursue. They know what clicks for them. They know who they love. They know who they want to marry. They know what they want to sign their name on the dotted line for. And yet they're lying to themselves. Ooh, this is tough. Okay, so we have somebody who knows what they want, and that's not what they're currently doing. They're realizing they've been lying to themselves. So what their heart wants, what every fiber of their true self wants, is not at all what they've been doing. We have a 2 of Wands. In fact, they are feeling like, I've been so confused, I don't know what to do, when in fact this is them having the coming to Jesus moment, so to speak, where it's like, I do know what I want. Why did I ever pretend that I didn't? I know exactly what I want, but I've been telling myself I didn't. I've been lying to me all this time, acting like I don't know which way to go. Yes, I do. I know which way to go. We have a 10 of Swords. It's time they put an end to something very painful in their life. It's time they walk away from something that has just been quite agonizing, simply because it's not what they wanted, and that's where they've been. The Magician, if they can stop living in the life that doesn't suit them at all and start manifesting life that they really do want, they can finally, like, have great happiness. This person, like I said, could be a Taurus. Now they could also be a Virgo or a Gemini. The life that they've been living, they've had to suppress who they are, suppress what they want, hide their real thoughts in order to be able to maintain the life that they've been living. And it's something that they've not wanted for a long time. This could be somebody who's been living, like, in London. I only say that because we have Big Ben back there. And maybe they're like, I want to go live in the countryside. I don't want to be in the city anymore. Or maybe it's the converse. Maybe it's like, I want to go to London. That's where I feel like I belong. It could be a geographical location, but this says they have to. I mean, if we're going to live in the area that we want to live in, then obviously we have to move, right? But this could be about job, career, love, location. It's possibly an entire life that someone's not been living the life that they wanted. And they were acting like they didn't know what to do, when in fact they have known all this time. King of Swords sideways. Okay, so having this acknowledgement still doesn't mean that they see the way forward exactly. Even if they start saying, okay, I get it now. I know what I have been hiding from myself all this time, which is that I hate the life that I've developed for myself, and this indecisiveness of, like, I don't know what to do. I do know. I need to leave this. I need to manifest what I really want. Okay. How do I get there? So understanding the truth that someone has suppressed. I feel like this person has, like, oh man, they spent all their energy trying to push down what they wanted so they could keep living the life that they didn't even enjoy, so they could stay in one spot, and that this is not where they want to be. But now that they know that, that's only one half of the problem. The other half is, now that I know it and I can't unknow it, the truth is there. How do I go about changing things? And with that King of Swords sideways, there is an element to, like, I'm going to say some toxicity here, because if we live in a life that we don't actually want, but let's say it's convenient, we may stay for convenience because it's easier. And that could be the pattern that this, we'll say this masculine has put himself into a pattern of convenience, though not happiness. 4 of Cups in the wild card. There's also an element of understanding finally that he's been lying to himself all this time. pretending he didn't know how to fix things when in fact he knows exactly how to do it. Now he comes to the other like side of this coin, which is, I have so much regret that it took me so long. I've wasted so much time not just making this change. Why was I not loyal in the first place? Why didn't I just stay in a situation I truly wanted instead? Or maybe I should have said, why didn't I embark, to go after someone or something that I truly wanted? Why instead did I remain here where I don't want to be? Isn't it just too late? Could I really change now that so much time has passed and I didn't? I stayed someplace for convenience. That's what it keeps looking like to me. Let me ask about that. Let's go with this deck. Where did you stay for convenience? Ooh, Six of Cups in the reverse. It definitely was a situation where they stayed not even with a soulmate, not with a place that they wanted to be, not with a person that they wanted to be with, but they stayed with a non-soulmate, with something that completely did not resonate with them, instead of walking away. Because to walk away would have been to walk away from the entire lifestyle, not just a person, but an entire group that they didn't resonate with. And that can be hard. Like, let's say this person is like, honestly, I don't have a family that I connect to very well, but walking away from the whole group, I mean, they're the only group I've ever known. Even if I know I don't belong and they don't understand me, it still is hard to walk away. I'm still a part of this family lineage. Maybe they weren't actually getting support there, but it was still hard to walk away and go off on their own. So maybe just fear of feeling more like an outsider. Page of Swords upright. They were kind of trying to find some place that they felt like they could have a soft landing, or some place that they felt they could belong before departing. But everything seemed to, I think they were too embattled all the time. If we're in a place that we don't belong, let's say this, let's go away from the idea that it's like family related or romance related. Let's say we work at a job and we don't like it and we don't get along with anybody there. And it's like everything here just feels like, oh, it's not the right place for me. However, to give my 2 weeks notice is not feasible. I can't just leave. So I try to start looking for another job, but I don't get enough time because I keep getting called in to work because there's so much conflict there and they keep wanting me to work extra hours. And, then when I do find another job that I think I want to apply for, then I worry, what if it's just going to be more of the same? And so I think this person has talked themselves out again and again and again of leaving where they were at, or things would get complicated and then they would have to stop trying to figure out how to just disembark from this, and they would get sucked back into drama. This could have been somebody who stayed in a family or a relationship or a job that they knew wasn't right for them. Okay, ultimately it was because they were too wounded. Maybe they never quite got the energy vibe high enough to exit something. And so they kept staying. When a lot of your energy is shunted toward battling and having conflict, it's fatiguing and it's really hard to just heal what needs to be healed enough to where then you can channel your energy toward like, oh no, I'm going to definitely go this new direction. So I kind of feel like this person just languished where they were instead of making any significant changes. Is this about love or is this about work or a living situation? Oh, it's about the heart. Okay, so it could be about love. So they may have actually stayed with a partner they did not have any love for at all. Did you have somebody that you did love? Four of Swords. I don't know. When somebody is, I feel like they were very beat down. By the way, this could have been a Libra. We specifically have Libra coming out on that Four of Swords, and we already saw them as a King of Swords sideways. And that Five of Wands. I really don't think that this person, it's not like they met somebody else who they loved, but they're like, oh, you know what? It's too much trouble to leave the person that I don't love, so I'll just stay with them. This is a deeper message. This is somebody who's like, they were way too fatigued, way too exhausted, way too beat down, even though their heart wanted something better. Maybe they didn't even believe that they could have something better. Maybe if they even did love somebody else, it was just like, I don't believe that they could really love me, because they were constantly still in this very, I don't know, this, like, they would tear themselves down. They also overthink stuff way too much. With this tree of life, there's some kind of family connection also. Almost like the argument of, yes, but I must have ended up in this situation for a reason. These are this is the core group that I know, right? So that must be where I'm supposed to be. That seems to have been like the biggest battle in their head, is like, but how do I leave the only place I've ever known, the family group, the person I've been married to for a long time, or the situation I've been in for a long time? How do I disconnect myself when I feel so integrated into this, even if it feels uncomfortable? Page of Cups. The idea of starting their life over and going in a new direction was just too much for them. So at this point, they have that hierophant, they have the acknowledgement, they recognize they've been lying to themselves all this time in order to stay put. They've been finding a million reasons to just not make changes, but now they know that. So with the hierophant, what does that mean to you, character? It's time to go. All right, but it's time to take the leap of faith and to leave. Are you going to do it though? Let's just cut to the chase. The Emperor, they may come to this conclusion that there's no more to do here. The continuously staying where I don't actually want to be, the continual, thinking through stuff and never making a change, that has to stop. I need to just take charge. What is it that's motivating you to take such positive charge in your life? 9 of Swords. They have a really big fear, a fear that is, or stress that is bigger than anything else. 2 of Swords. What if they never make the leap for freedom? What if they spend their whole life with a blindfold on? I feel like this person might be getting to that age where they're realizing they've stayed a big chunk of their life where they actually didn't want to be. And this is them finally saying, oh my gosh, so many years I've passed by already, and I'm only going to get deeper locked in. They might even realize that they're approaching a time in their life where if they stay any longer, they're never getting out. With that 2 of Swords, there's something about like blockage. There's something about like, I have to make a break for it. I have to finally do the thing, because I'm more afraid of knowing what I know and not making a change. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse. We have the 4 of Pentacles. They can't be scared anymore. They can't hold back anymore. I feel like this person has played it safe. Maybe they've tried to hang on to, a potential inheritance, or they've tried to remain where they were. They might also be saying there's no amount of inheritance that would make this worth it. Being in a difficult situation, kowtowing to a family or staying in a relationship that's not right for money, that there's no reason to do this. I gotta go. It could also be that they're realizing they're never going to get further ahead. If they were ever trying to save money so that eventually someday maybe they could make a new decision and that they'd feel safer making that change, I think this is them saying it's not going to get better or easier. In fact, if anything, I better take what little bit I have to my name and I should make the break now. There's nothing more to think about. They should have done this maybe many, many years ago, and they're finally at the point where I can't fake this anymore, pretend to myself that I should stay when I know I should never have stayed. 9 of Pentacles. It will be a huge breath of fresh air for them. What about the situation that they're abandoning? Because I kind of feel like, they're leaving something else behind. We have a Page of Swords and we have a King of Wands. I mean, not to be rude here, but I don't think that their absence is going to make any big difference. I feel like if they were staying in a relationship with someone, that someone didn't want them either. They already had designs on someone else that were attracted to some King of Wands. They were looking forward to a future with somebody else anyhow. Kind of maybe behind his back. He may not have known this, but his absence is not going to bother them. Him leaving and finally, choosing his autonomy and choosing a better life for himself his absence is not going to negatively impact the person or the group that he's leaving behind. They got other plans already. So again, you know what? Maybe this is just now the right time for this departure to occur. So you're going to go off and you're going to be single, or is there something on your mind? What else does the Hierophant tell you at this point? 5 of Wands. We go back into, now they're starting to think round and round in circles about we have a Four of Swords, about some kind of either thing from the past. Maybe they want to bring back something from the past. We have a Nine of Wands. Something else that they need to heal. We're seeing some repetitious cards, right? We've seen both of those cards already. The Ten of Cups. It might just be that finally they're going to allow themselves to acknowledge, what would my happiness look like? I didn't let myself pursue happiness before, but I do know what my happiness is. I'd like to go after my joy, my happiness. And finally, there is a place that they want to be, or there is, let's say this is somebody who's finally going to become single. And the truth of it is they always wanted to, break away, live in some other place, have a house somewhere, where there's a garden, and, be able to play loud music if they want to. And they're finally just going to go ahead and pursue that life. Some sweet little cottage, someplace out in the woods. And that's what they're going to go find for themselves. And they'll be very, very happy. This could also be, because the Ten of Cups is oftentimes about real love. It's about the partnership of a lifetime. We have a Seven of Swords. I am going to say it feels like this person tried to let go of somebody in the past and pretend that they didn't want that person, simply because they weren't ready to leave where they were at. They were too scared, or they didn't understand how they could leave where they were at. So this feels like this is another compartment of their mind where they stored the truth. There is someone out there that they wanted to be with. I feel like this is who they're going to wind up going back to. Seven of Cups, even though they don't know how this is going to work. I mean, I really think that they don't know how this is going to work. They know exactly who this is. We got 777, divine number. They have a divine counterpart, somebody who they've spied on all this time. They have no idea what this person's real life is like, but they have probably for years have spied on this person. They're finally ready to go talk to this person. Are you doing this on the 5th? Is this like all coming to fruition? Death card in the reverse, Devil, Queen of Pentacles. Oh, so it's a Queen of Pentacles they want to go talk to. No, the communication part's not happening on the 5th. It's actually, they could be filled with fear about approaching her, but the acknowledgement that I'm going to have to go talk to her because she is the person of my life. She is the one that I wanted, and the one that I wasn't either courageous enough or didn't have the mindset or the strength to pursue once upon a time. They're not reaching out to her on the 5th. They're just dealing with the truths of what's going to happen. But I kind of feel like it's only a matter of time before, if they're shifting into Emperor energy and they're going after what they want, they're definitely going to be taking action toward her. She could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, does not have to be. And they don't have to be a Libra or Libra, Gemini, Aquarius either. I mean, we had them as Pisces, we saw them as Aries, we've seen them as Taurus, we've seen them, a lot of different major arcanas that have come out. So they could be almost anything. But last but not least, let me pull a card for someone whose birthday is on the 5th. We have got the message of 10 of Cups in the reverse. Could be a time where a character assesses and addresses what is not making me super happy, and then redirecting their energy toward love. If there are things in our life that have not measured up, have not given equally to us, have not made us happy, this is a great time for a character to say, hey, now wait a second. Then maybe I should look a little closer at, what does my heart really want? Because maybe I've been giving more than what I've been receiving. And maybe this is a good time to actually ask my own heart, what would I like? What would I like to receive? Let me begin, because there's this message from the divine in here about self-love, and that this is a great time of the year to start, practicing self-love. We have the serpent here that our angel is carrying, just reminding us that we can change our dynamic at any point in time. If something's not working out right, maybe it's because we've been overgiving and we should readdress. And maybe we also haven't been very kind to ourselves. Maybe we imagine we're coming up short and we're really not. And it's time to express more self-love. I really love this because it's our character is actually going to have a much happier outcome, all said and done. It just takes a minute to address this. So very beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.